Hey guys, I'm back today and I have a special one for you guys today. I actually got a video request from one of you guys on doing this video on how to stop second guessing yourself and how to make decisions with confidence. Now, she shared this with me privately, so I'm not sure if she wants me to say her username on YouTube, so I'll just read it out to you without saying the name. And if you wanted it, then leave it in the comments and we'll give you credit. So she says, "Hello Mina, I have a video idea for you. How to stop second guessing yourself and make decisions with confidence. I don't know how common this is, but I find myself doing it quite a lot. Not each and every decision, but too many for my liking. Any thoughts or life hacks on this?" And yes, I absolutely can relate to this. I've done this. I think all of us have pretty much done this. Let me go ahead and open up my chat box and see who's here. So I definitely have a couple of suggestions and life hacks for you guys. Let me know that you guys can hear me and see me and give me a thumbs up. Let me see. Yep, it seems like it's good. Okay. So the number one thing, and I have done separate videos on a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about, so I will make sure that I go and put in those links later on. I know I forget sometimes, but I will try my best. So the number one reason that we second guess ourselves or we doubt ourselves, I feel like, is because most of us are trying to wing it at life. We don't have a plan. We don't have a set of rules for ourselves. We don't have a blueprint or any sort of map guiding us on the most important journey that we are taking, our life. We're just kind of winging it and just seeing, okay, well, this person is doing this, maybe I'll try this out. Or he said I should do this, maybe I'll try that out. Or my parents wanted me to do that, maybe I'll take a shot at that. And that's when our inner voice says, hey, wait a minute, stop. Is this what you really want? And all of those inner voices, those are us second guessing ourselves. And I think that's where it stems from. And I used to do this all the time. I was being led in different directions by different well-meaning people in my life that loved me, but I was trying to follow their vision for my life without having any sort of control or accountability for my own life and my actions. And there's a lot of things obviously wrong with that. One, you can end up doing things or making decisions for yourself based on other people's opinions of things you didn't really want for yourselves. Secondly, you may end up actually resenting that person or blaming them for your problems. And that's when a lot of issues can happen because you haven't learned how to take your own responsibility for your own life. And I have seen people blame other family members only to find out that that family member had no intention of trying to guide your life. They may have made a comment or passed judgment, in passing, and you took that as your Bible and your gospel and you ran with it. And then you have nobody but yourself to blame, even though you think that you may be blaming other people. So the first thing is to have a vision for your life. That's where a mission statement comes in. That's where a vision board comes in. That is key. It's important. I've done many videos on having a mission statement for your life, on having a vision board. So my mission statement for my life is the Arabic word sukoon, which means inner peace, inner and outer peace. And it's a word that has very deep meaning for me because in my life since childhood, I saw that my family and myself included, we were chasing the wrong things, and we would get everything we wanted, but we never had this inner peace. We never had this contentment because there was no intentionality. We didn't know why we wanted certain things. We were just chasing them or just acquiring them. So this became the guiding principle of my life. It goes in the center of every vision board that I do every year, and I have been putting that word on my vision board since I started doing them about 10 years ago. And it guides every decision. It makes life so much easier because every time I have to make a decision, whether it's a small decision or a big decision, I ask myself one simple question. Will this decision enhance my inner peace and outer peace, or will this take it away in any way? Will it disrupt my peace? Will it disrupt my family's peace? And that decision becomes very easy. There's no second guessing it, because I know that whatever decision I take in my life, it has to bring me inner and outer peace. Without peace, it doesn't matter how much money I have, what my career is, whether I'm married or single, whether I have children or not. It becomes pretty much irrelevant, because if you don't have inner peace and contentment, you don't have appreciation for the luxuries of life or anything you can acquire. So for me, this became my mission statement. It became my guiding principle. And when I make a decision with that guiding principle, I know that I won't second guess it. Hi guys, I know you guys are here. Say hi, give me a thumbs up, share it out if you think somebody will benefit from this. So that's where you would start. So another thing that I've seen is we second guess ourselves is when we are afraid of failure. We're afraid of what other people will say. We're afraid of making mistakes, losing time, losing money. And my own personal journey has taught me that I need to embrace, expect, and own failure. Because all of the times that I failed in my life, I learned valuable lessons. And yes, on some level, we need to be able to learn from other people's mistakes too, right? We don't want to make every mistake in the book. Like, for example, I don't need to learn personally that going too close to a lion may get me eaten, because in past history has shown that that can happen, right? Or I shouldn't go too close off the cliff because I may fall. Those things I've learned. But sometimes we need to make our own mistakes. We need to have our failures, because we learn very important inner lessons from those. And I would not trade them. Yes, they cost me money, they cost me pain and suffering, they cost me time, headache, tears, sweat, blood, all of that stuff. But I learned really important lessons from those, and I learned things that I've been able to build on, and it's become a part of my personality. It's become a part of who I am. So expect failure. It's okay to fail. In fact, you should build your life around failure. If you're not failing enough, you're probably not trying enough either, right? We all can go hide under a rock and not fail at all, but we may not live at all. We may not learn anything new worth learning. This is something that I tell my children all the time. It's okay to fail. I expect it. You will make mistakes. You will be failing until you're 90, because if you're not, it means you've stopped living at some point in your life. So expect it, embrace it, own it. And it's that example from 8 Mile, right? From the Eminem's movie. It's an old movie. I don't know why it's still stuck in my head, but I loved that battle that he has at the end, where he lays it all out. Anything that the other guy could have said bad about him, he owned up to everything that was wrong with him and his family and his mother and his life. And so when you own it, when you show up, nobody can say anything to you that's going to throw you off your game, because you've already owned it. Yep, that's wrong with me, I know, but you know what? I'm improving. I'm doing better. That's all I can do. I'm moving forward. So own it, own your failures, and expect them. Holly Roberts says, thank you for your videos, Mina. I recently found your channel and have been really inspired by you. Just wanted to say thanks. Thank you, Holly. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thanks, everyone. You guys, you guys just, the messages that I've been receiving, the comments, the emails, you guys just light up my life. Thank you so much. So another thing that could cause you to second guess yourself or your decisions is outside noise. Now, this is one that has taken me the longest to kind of mute out and really deal with. And I've done other videos on this, on dealing with criticism from friends and family members. And I think that you can have the first two in place, but still fall prey to this third one. So you can have a plan for your life. You can have a mission statement. You can expect failure. And then you're doing everything right the way you want to. And then your friend or your dad or your, somebody makes a comment about why you're doing this, or why aren't you doing this other thing? And you may be standing there thinking, well, why aren't I doing this other thing? And should I not be doing this? This happens to me all the time. So this is one I can relate to, and I think a lot of us deal with this. And I've come up with a couple reasons why people may be doing this. The first reason might be that they have no idea that they're doing it. They are just simply making a comment without any intentionality, without any negativity in there without any agenda. And I know plenty of people do this. I've done this too. Sometimes a family member will tell me something cool they're doing, and without thinking through, I will say something that I later realize may have come across as slightly judgmental or critical or just negative. And I did not mean anything by it, but it just slipped out and I didn't even think about it until later. And so because I've done this myself, when people do this to me, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's hard sometimes, especially with people who repeatedly do it. You know that it's a habit of theirs, but I just try to separate myself from that and think, you know what? They said it, it's done. I'm following my plan. I'm following my mission statement, and that's it. I'm gonna do what I need to do. This is my decision that I've made. Secondly, I think is that they just can't, second reason people may be making comments like that is they just can't relate. Not everybody has the same experiences we have. They are not working with the same information that we are working with in our head, right? They don't have our childhood. They may not have our insecurities. They may not have our strengths, our lessons, exactly the way that we have them. And so they tend to be making judgments or making comments based on their experiences. And that's awesome for them, but it doesn't mean anything for us. So that's a third reason. And a second reason, I'm sorry. And the third reason, and this is one that keeps reappearing in my life, they want what you have, or they want what you're doing. And this is a hard one for me to see and admit to it and even say it, because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. But this has happened to me so much in the last, I would say, a little bit over a decade. Since I was in my single mom days, I would have my friends make comments like, why are you doing this? Like, I would kill myself if I had to do this. Or, oh my God, I can't believe you could do this. I would never be able to do this. You need to stop doing this, or whatever. Comments like that. And then a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year down the road, they're doing exactly what I'm doing. Or they would say something like, ew, that's ugly. Why would you wear this? And then I would see them wearing the exact same thing or something very similar to it a little bit later. And it would just leave me really confused. And over the years, I've learned that sometimes it's just their own internal demons. They're battling something in their own mind, and they haven't put on a filter yet, or they have some insecurities or whatever is going on, but it's about them. It has nothing to do with me. I cannot tell you how many people told me when I was a single mom that they could not do what I was doing, only to end up in that situation. Or when I was married and became a stay-at-home mom, tell me they would kill themselves if they had to stay at home with their children. They could not even imagine doing it, only to change their life to do exactly that, what they were criticizing. So now when people say those kind of things to me, I just nod and smile and just let it go as a passing comment. I don't even respond on most occasions, because more often than not, they end up doing the exact same thing that they criticize me for. And I think a lot of times either they're not aware of it, or it's kind of that way of like, if I don't have it, it's bad. But then they want it, so they're working towards it, and then eventually they get it, and they're in that sticky situation where now they have to justify it. But one thing I've learned is that you should not respond back to those people. And the reason for that is because their inner self and their inner being will criticize them and beat them up for it anyways. So by you doing it, it's you're not helping them and you're not helping yourself, if that makes sense. When we make comments like that in our own lives, I know I've done this too. Like little things. Sometimes I've said things like, I'm never going to purchase this bag. And then I went and purchased that bag. And I've had it even on YouTube where people said, I thought you said you were never going to purchase that bag. And then I went and I did it. So sometimes people go and change their minds. And again, it's one of those things where I'm giving myself benefit of the doubt. I have to give that benefit of the doubt to other people as well. So now when I have friends and family members criticizing my decisions, I just nod and smile, let it go, because 9 out of 10 times I see them doing the exact same thing a little while later. So I don't know why people do that. I'm not going to waste my time on it. I just try not to let it bother me. And as long as I know that I'm in line with my values, I'm in line with my mission statement, and I know that it's okay to make mistakes as long as I learn from them, it doesn't matter what other people are saying. I have a couple of lines for you that you can say. One thing that you could say if you really did need to respond back, I really thought about it and I thought, if one of my friends and family members was doing something that I thought that I would kill myself over, which is a really weird statement to make, but let's just say that I thought that. If I criticize them, here's a response that I would really respect if they said to me. And that would be, I need to do this and learn this for myself. And I think this is such a powerful thing, because I really put myself in their position and in my position as well, like from both angles. And I could see myself saying this to somebody gracefully, and I could also see myself receiving it and not being offended by it. Does that make sense to you guys? Let me know in the comments if that really makes sense to you guys. If you just said, I need to do this and I need to learn this for myself. And I know sometimes we feel like we need to justify it with a, I know you're not going to agree with me. I know we not make, let it go. You don't have to make it uncomfortable or awkward. You can just leave it at, I need to really do this and learn this for myself. This is one that if I really think about it, my son has said to me in different ways over the years. And I'm so glad that he has, because it's really taught me to really live what I teach you guys, right? I always say we don't own other people. Other people don't own us. And we want to protect our children. We want to protect our family, but we can't always protect them. We need to let them fall. We need to let them make their decisions and their failures and get back up and become more resilient. And so we need to be also cheering them on when they fall down and say, hey, you know what? It's okay. Get back up. That's why I make it really a conscious effort in my life never to say, I told you so. Never to say, I knew this was going to happen, because that will shame the other person, and that gives us that, I'm better than you kind of. I don't like that, because I wouldn't want other people doing that to me. And I'm really grateful, because in my life, anytime my husband has told me, I think that's a bad decision, you shouldn't do it, and I did it anyways, I'm really grateful that he is not the type of person that says, I told you that was going to go wrong. He just turns and looks the other way and ignores it, because he's already known that me falling and having made that mistake is punishment enough for myself, and that I've learned the lesson. And so I try to extend that onwards to my family and friends and my children. And if they make a mistake, even though you warned them or you thought it was going to happen, let it go, let them see it, let them learn from that, and let them own their own mistakes, like we're all trying to own our own mistakes, right? So let me see what you guys are saying, and then I've got one more for you guys. Let's see. Hi, Omad. Hi, Shira. Radhama is here. She says she just joined in. Welcome everybody. Isnamwa said, love from Hong Kong. Keep it up. Wow, welcome. I wonder what time it is in Hong Kong right now. That's very interesting. Refuel, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Refuel said, mistakes are the best teachers. They really are. They really are. Because there's so many things that my parents could have told me until they were blue and red in the face, but I wouldn't have learned them until I really made those mistakes for myself. So that's just the reality of life. So I can't rob my children of that either. So I want to protect them. I really do in everything. And I hope that they make at least guided mistakes, that where I can like hover over them a little bit and guide them, but at the end of the day, they need to learn it for themselves. Omad Warrior Chick said, your videos are always the perfect timing for me. Thank you, Mina. Oh, that is so awesome. You guys, a lot of you guys say that to me. It's so weird. It's like we're in tune, because a lot of times I'll put out a video and I get comments from you guys saying that this is exactly what you needed at exactly this time. So I love that. So Maya said, my sister-in-law and their mom kept on telling me, you should put on weight. You look like a child, although I'm 32. But now I found out they are trying to lose weight. I think we all do this. Yes, you guys know that I get criticized all the time for my weight. If I gain weight, people criticize me. If I lose weight, people criticize me. But again, I ask myself, is this in line with my mission of living a healthy, energetic life? Do I feel energetic? Yes. Do I feel healthy? Yes. then that's all that matters, right? I mean, who cares? If I try to live my life according to how 18,000 of you guys thought I should, that's how many subscribers I have, right? Imagine. I mean, I'd have to rip myself up in 18,000 different pieces, and still I'd probably not be able to make everybody happy. And that leads perfectly into number 4, which is expect to disappoint. I promise you, if you are living your life, you will disappoint people. I guarantee it. That is probably one of the best guarantees in the world. You will at some time and point in your life disappoint people. That's just how it is. But as long as you are, again, in line with the plan that you have laid out for your own life, and you're going in line with it, you're not physically hurting anybody or going out of your way to emotionally hurt anybody, you're fine. And sometimes we, without wanting to, may emotionally hurt people. We hurt people's feelings without intending to, but that's their feelings. They need to gain better control of their emotions. They need to gain better control of their feelings. As long as you are trying to live your life in a intentional way where you're trying to be a good person, trying to improve yourself, you're not going out of your way to hurt people, that's all you can do. As intentional as I try to be in my life, as controlled as I try to be with my emotions and my feelings, sometimes without thinking about it, I may say things that I later learned that I offended somebody. I had absolutely no intention on doing it. I promise you guys that. I said something about my own self or something that had happened to me, but without knowing something that person was going through, it hurt their feelings. Now, I cannot be expected to constantly monitor myself in that way. That is not humanly possible, right? So we will sometimes hurt people's feelings, but as long as if we find out about that, if we can apologize or move on gracefully or let them be and just say, hey, that was that person's feelings at that moment. I apologize, or I'm sorry that I said something that offended them, but I cannot always control what I say or how somebody else is feeling. So I hope you guys are understanding where I'm going. You will disappoint people. But as long as you are trying to consciously be a good person, I'm sure that at some points in my life I've disappointed my parents, my husband, my siblings, my children, even myself. But I've gotten up from that and I've gracefully moved on because that's all I can do, right? I can lay out that year's vision board, that year's plan, and look at it. See, are you still in line with what you wanted earlier that year? Are you still following your values? Have your values or goals changed? Modify your life. Analyze it. Take that time to think. When you have a plan for your life, you come across as very confident and sure, and people are less likely to second guess you, or you're less likely to second guess yourself, first of all. But when you come across as confident, people know that you know what you're doing. You have a plan for yourself. And you can throw in comments when somebody's constantly saying things like, if you have family members that are saying, why are you doing, say, this is what I'm focusing on for this year. So maybe next year it will be something different, but this is the space that I've allowed myself this year. This is what I'm working on. And it may actually shock them, and it may actually inspire them to have a plan for themselves. And then you move on. Because again, at the end of the day, we don't control people. We can't control what they say. We can't control what they think about us. We can only control our own self-love, our compassion for ourselves and our family members and our friends, our own tolerance level. I did a video, posted it earlier today about tolerance. Sometimes we need to be able to tolerate people making rude comments. But maybe they don't understand us. They don't understand our goals. They don't understand what we're trying to achieve this year. So they need to focus on themselves, and you need to move on. So that's my tip. I hope that was helpful. Let me see what you guys are saying. Becky said, hi Mina, so happy to catch you live. I'm happy you're here, Becky. Thank you. Nausea said, love the topic. It's really a coincidence that this morning I am in such a situation. Perfect timing for me too. Thanks. Love you, big. Love you too, Nausea. I always appreciate all of your lovely comments. It just puts a smile on my face. I see a lot of you guys repeatedly commenting and sharing in your experiences on my videos, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Nausea said, I want a suggestion. Sometimes I know the road we'll go, and we don't want our loved one on that road, and how to approach it. So I know exactly what you mean. We've all been there, where we maybe in our own childhood or young adult years, we made some mistakes and we learned from them, and then we see our younger siblings or our children doing the same thing. And my approach has been to make it known to them, like as long as they already don't know, or maybe they've forgotten and you bring it up. So I will casually in a conversation throw in that you remember when that happened to me, or you may not be aware this happened to me, and this is what happened, and this is how I came out of it, and that's it. You don't try to say, I don't want you to do this, don't do this. That comes up. It's how you're saying the same thing, but it's how you're delivering it. Because think of it from your perspective. Did you like it when you were younger and other people were trying to control you or change your behavior? At that time, even if that person had the right of way, we didn't always understand it. A lot of things I did in my life, people warned me. They told me not to do them, but I was like, oh, what do that person doesn't know? Or this is my life, I'm going to do it. I shut them off. So we don't want to be in a situation where people are doing that to us. They're shutting us out. The best way you can do is share your journey, share your experience, and then just be there for them. This is just a part of life. Watching our loved ones sometimes make the same mistakes that we made, knowing the outcome that will happen, but doing it anyways. It is just a part of life. I've accepted it because it is not my job to trap somebody, to control somebody. I don't have that right. Even the children that I gave birth to, I do not own them. They are a blessing in my life. They have been entrusted in my care. That's it. I can guide them, I can teach them, I can love them. That is it. I cannot control their actions. And I hope that I have set enough examples through everyday life and through my guidance that I have given them. And I hope that they have, that they can learn from that. That's it. And at the end of the day, if I feel like I've done and said everything that I needed to in the best way that I had available at that time, the best resources, then I need to trust my own teachings too, right? My own care, my own love. And then you just be there for them quietly when they fall down, and you just guide them through it. And don't be the person that says, I told you so, I knew this was going to happen, didn't I say this was going to happen? Just, they know that you knew. They know that they made a mistake, and the best thing you can do is just gracefully be there for them to help them back up, and hopefully they will learn and get on by. And then once again, the cycle of life will continue, and they will find yourself in your situation one day. That's just how it is. I've talked to people in their 20s all the way up till their 80s that have said the same thing, that you just have to pretty much be there. And sometimes you're on the receiving end of it, and sometimes you're on the other end of it, and that's just how it is. Frida said, no matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and never give up. Learn this from you, Mina. You're such an inspiration. That is so, I just love that. Thank you so much for so elegantly summing up my entire channel and my life. So thank you so much. Radhima said, I'm about to start working from home by this weekend. All of it happened after I came across your channel. You're so inspiring. I don't have words to say thanks to you. Radhima, you just did, and thank you so much. The way that you guys can give thanks to me, here's what you do. You live your best, fabulous, most glamorous life, and then you inspire others quietly. You don't try to enforce it on them. You gracefully inspire others, and that's how you say thankful, by being your best life, just living your best life and having a plan and being glamorous and fabulous and owning it. That's what my mission is, and that's all I ask. So I love that. Let's see, Raki Vora said, hi Mina, great to catch you live. Awesome topic. Would you avoid those people who cause you pain altogether? What if you can't reach a tolerance level where it doesn't affect you? So Raki, I have talked about this, toxic relationships and toxic friends. In my own life, I have taken that route many times, where I have completely distanced myself. I let go of a really long relationship, friendship, best friend of 14 years. She had seen me through a lot of hardships, and we had been through a lot together, and so it was a really tough decision. But I realized as I got older, she was 7 or 8 years older than me, highly manipulative person, many medications, antidepressants and things, and just a very toxic situation. And it took a lot out of me. I second guessed that decision many times, let me tell you guys. But yes, there just came a time where I just couldn't take it anymore. And I just needed to move forward. And I knew that it was also the best thing for her, that she needed to remove herself from this toxic environment that we both had created together through our friendship. So sometimes you need to take that route. I've also had to do that with some extended family members. Like, you can't really disown family, but you can distance yourself where you only call them on God forbid, if there's a death in the family, there's a birth in the family, that's a good thing. You call them on celebrations, on grievances, and that's it. And sometimes I've had to do that, and I'm okay with that. I've made peace with it, because the pain and suffering of that daily drama and constant this nagging or comments and things is not good for them, and it's not good for me, and it's not good for my family, my immediate family. So I have made that decision. And sometimes you need to do that. I actually talked about this in a video, in a separate one, and I had a comment from somebody saying that if you get rid of toxic people, you will be left with no one. And I disagree with that. That's a very scarcity mindset. There's 7 or 8 billion people on the planet. And yes, not everybody is related to us via DNA, but that's not all you need. You just need a good, loving, happy relationships. It doesn't matter if they're not your blood relatives, right? So there's plenty of people. The way I look at it, if I let go of 2 toxic relationships, that opens up room in my life for 2 happy relationships. So I don't look at it that way. I look at it as, yikes, I'm getting rid of a toxic relationship, but yes, I just made room for more. So a fabulous relationship is yet to come. So that's how I do it. I look at my own tolerance level, and it's growing. I've not always had the best tolerance level. So in my tolerance video, what I didn't mention was I wasn't raised to be a very tolerant person, and I naturally did not have that in my personality either. So this is something I've had to cultivate over time, and I'm making sure that I'm raising my children with those values, that there's that balance. You want to be able to tolerate some things, but you need to also be able to know when to say, you know what, this is just not tolerable, bye. And that's okay. And they need to make that decision for themselves. Kids First said, hey Mina, how to deal with people when we make a decision and they try to break our confidence, self-esteem by saying something negative about the decision we made. So I just touched on that. I'm not sure if you just came on this. So basically, if you have a plan and you've made it according to your plan and your mission statement, you just say, thank you so much for loving on me, for sharing your amazing opinion, but for this year, or currently, this is my plan right now, and so this is what I'm going to do. I'll let you know how it turns out. That is it, and you gracefully move on. When you are following the map or the life plan that you have designed for yourself, you won't second guess yourself, and you won't let those comments bother you. Now, this takes work. I've let people like that and comments like that bother me, but again, I shared with you the 3 reasons I think people make those comments and what to do. So if you want to watch this video from the beginning, you can catch up a little bit on that, and that's basically what I would do. Nausea said, wow, thanks for sharing. Your words put a smile on my face too. Love you big. Thank you so much. Jasna said, calmness and patience is the best advisor. Yes. No, those are 2 things not all of us are born with. It's something we need to cultivate. I will be the first to admit that those are both things I've had to really work on. But I'm getting better every single day that I work on it. It becomes more of my nature as I go on. And it's okay to not have these things as part of your personality from day one. It's okay to not have been raised that way, but because we can cultivate these things over time, slowly. We can learn to acquire these habits, and that's okay. Some people are lucky where it's part of their personality, and the rest of us have to learn, and that's okay. Becky said, I would like your advice on how to be accepted by my future husband's family. He is Asian and I am British. I know they would want him to marry someone else, but I want to fit in and make them happy. So the best way to do this is by not trying too hard, first of all. Just know that if the situation was reversed, all of us have certain expectations or certain things that we have been groomed for from childhood. And we all have these feelings at I'll share a very personal example with you guys. My brother, him and his fiance is Italian, and so I'm a very liberal and open-minded person. So are my siblings actually, but she doesn't know that, right? So the first time she met us, I could sense that this was years ago, but I could sense that she was nervous about that, and as I would be, right? Anybody, it's nerve-wracking anyway, even if you are exactly the same religion, exactly the same nationality, everything's right. It's very nerve-wracking to meet the in-laws for the first time or get to know them and feel accepted and loved. And a lot of times they can be the most loving people, but we can just be projecting our own insecurities on them, right? So as time went on, and as she learned that we don't, like, as long as my brother is happy, as long as they're making each other happy, I don't care what color she is, I don't care what religion she is, I don't care what nationality she is, as long as they are happy together, right? So as she got to know us and learned that, that's all it needed. She relaxed, we relaxed, and we don't even see that anymore. She doesn't see that as an issue, we don't see that as an issue. But I feel like if she had gone out of her way to make it like, look how amazing I am, you guys should accept me, I think that just comes across as not so confident, almost desperate, and then it can come across as like, what are you trying to hide? I think a lot of times people are very understanding. We just project our own insecurities on them, and no matter what our color is, what our race is, what our religion is, meeting the in-laws and getting to know them is very nerve-wracking anyway. So what I can tell you is that eventually they will see, even if maybe they even see it now, they will see how happy you make your hubby and how happy he makes you. And that's all. Think about it. You have siblings, you have family members, you have parents. What do you want for them? All you want for them is for them to be happy, right? It doesn't matter how they arrive at that happiness, as long as they are genuinely happy. So they are thinking the same thing about you. I think a lot of times we just project that because we're nervous, and it's okay to be nervous. Just do your best, be your best, bring your best personality, like just be yourself, and then let them see it, right? Let them see that you're a great person, and that your race or religion or your nationality doesn't even matter. You're just a great all-around person. At the end of the day, every human being, no matter what color you are, what size, shape, we all want love, we all want appreciation, we all want to feel accepted. So if you extend that to them, you will get it in back. You will get it in return, I promise. So just work on that. That's all you can do anyways, right? Freckled Beauty said, I'm currently going through it with my little boy. He's addicted to drugs, and it has stressed me out so bad. My mother and my dad cut him off, and I feel like I'm doing it alone. I have no joy. Oh, that's very tough. That is a very tough situation. I'm sorry you're going through that. But again, that's what you're doing. You're just being there for him in the best way you can. You can tell him until you're black and blue in the face that drugs are bad. But guess what? He probably knows drugs are bad, right? I mean, nobody thinks that drugs are good. You just kind of get tangled up in it. So at this point, you can do your best to offer him guidance and support, and if he needs it and requires it, maybe get him some professional help and just be there for him. I promise you, I've seen this enough times. Family members have gotten out of drugs and gotten themselves back together, and they've been able to put their families back together. So don't lose hope. And maybe eventually your extended family will come through too, but all you can do is be there for him. You're welcome, Rocky, anytime. I love interacting with you guys. Amy said, so excited to catch you live. I'm obsessed with your videos. Thank you so much, Amy. That is so sweet. Tuba said, you skipped my question, but it was sort of answered. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I did not see it. Actually, Tuba, it did not show up for some reason. So I'm not sure what happened. If you want to ask again, leave it in the comments, but I don't see it. Oh, I'm sorry, it was your brother. Yes, all you can do, Freckled Beauty, is just be there for him, and hopefully things will sort out. But guys, thank you so much for being with me today and hanging out. To the viewer that asked this question, thank you so much for this wonderful video idea. I think this has helped. I can see that a lot of us deal with this. I've dealt with this. So I hope this helps you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.